of today's Strategic ERP webinar. We are all excited to host this insightful session on how artificial intelligence is reshaping the real estate, construction, infrastructure, EPC, and project driven industries. So today's session is not just about ERP system or AI technologies individually. It's about how the integration of AI with ERP is transforming the way organizations plan, execute, monitor, and deliver the projects. So, in this webinar, we will explore real world AI application, industry specific use cases, business outcomes, and operational impacts, demonstrations of AI powered ERP innovations that are already helping more than 1,100 projects driven enterprises across the India, from improving the efficiency to reducing the delays and to increase the profitability and make smarter decisions. And the most importantly, we will going to discuss one key question, which is how can AI create measurable business value for an organization? So I hope you all are absolutely ready for the next amazing session. So before we begin, let me quickly walk everyone through today's agenda. We have an excellent panel of industry experts joining us today, and I'm so sure that the discussion will be providing practical insights for everyone who are attending. So today's session includes Future Vision by our one and only Mr. Ashwin Gami sir, Global AI Perspective by Mr. Joshua Kesar, who is our special guest for this webinar, AI Concepts and Foundation by Ms. Hitakshi Dhawan, who is an incredible leader, AI Feature Deep Dive Sessions by Mr. Harish Venkatesh. You guys must already know him, like he is the tech head, and followed by a QA session by me, that is your host for the day. So I request everyone to keep their questions ready for the end of the sessions. Okay, our first speaker is a visionary entrepreneur and technology leader who has played a significant role in transforming strategic ERP into one of the India's most trusted ERP platforms for real estate, construction, infrastructure, EPC, MEP, oil and gas, and project-driven enterprises. Mr. Ashwin sir is the managing director and co-founder of Strategic ERP and one more entity, that is Santiloki. Under his leadership, Strategic ERP has empowered more than 1,100 organizations with technology solutions focused on operational excellence, project visibility, and business growth. So today, he will share valuable insights on the future of AI-powered ERP and the evolving landscapes of project execution across the geographies. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ashwin Gami, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Yashvi, for nice introduction. Yes, so it's very interesting to be with all of you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to some, right? So it's very interesting to be together after a long time, and we are discussing very important points. And as we see developments across the world is talking about AI, AGI, and various things. But if we see the history, AI has not come up just now. It's being propelled by so many technologies in the history. So we see the mainframes came around 1960s, then PCs came around 1980s, internet and mobile started in 2000, and cloud started coming in 2005, and now we are seeing uh, AI and AGI coming heavily, means it's penetrating all across in 2025 and forward. So there are so many predictions around AI, what AI will do, how we should, navigate in this world of AI, right? So we can see that so far uh, we have worked with standard system of records, which tells us that what has happened so far. So as a part of any organization, we have to maintain the records, what is happening day to day in our organizations, and we have to generate various reports, but it tells only what has happened so far, right? But now AI is something which human mind had the monopoly to do. So earlier, only human brains used to predict what will happen in the future. So we required to analyze and dig down all the data and then predict what is the future. But now AI is basically a copy of human brain, we can say. So it's just trying to mimic what our brain is doing. If we try to study how our brain has got many mini brains inside our one brain. So one brain is not just a one system. It has got 150,000 small brains inside our big brain. So it small brains, they process the data coming from various interactions we are doing from the system, and then they combine together their inference, and then they arrive to a result, right? So if uh, we see the history, then we can easily see that if we uh, just talk of ERP as a system of records, then it has reached its limit. We can't uh, just perform in this world with just system of records and doing everything manually, the things which we were doing earlier, right? So now we need a system which is a system of action. That is what will help us you know navigate this new world. So we are just transitioning from doing everything manually to handing over step by step. So we can consider like AI is a small child, and we are teaching him. And if we teach him right, then that child will grow up gradually in our organization, and it will take care of all of us. So uh, it's our duty that how we you know interact with this new system which is coming up in the world. So yes, we have like software automation, then there is workflow automation, and then there is AI agents end to end. So when we say AI agents end to end, just imagine that we are doing a webinar, right? And after webinar, if suppose we want to meet and discuss some points, then just imagine that I have my agent and you have your agent. Our agents will have meeting without our involvement, and they decide what and how we should proceed further, or what and how we can join hands in future. So that way, basically, we also hear about agentic commerce, right? So seller, buyer, their agents will interact with each other. They will come, they will finalize the agreements, and then we have to just review, and everything is ready for us. So we can talk about like auto vendor negotiation, auto invoice reconciliation, auto anomaly detection. So these are the things which used to take a lot of time for human beings, but now these things agents can do very well, right? Yeah, next slide. You can go. Yes. So how right now strategic ERP has a chance where we can convert this system of records into agentic system to automate all our operations in the organization, right? So from the beginning days, strategic ERP, we had decided that we will build with programming automation. We will not write program manually. So all our uh, programs, which is delivered to the customer, it is written by the program itself. So programming for programming, and we have seen a lot of challenges. It was very easy sometimes to do manually, but if we have to train a program to write the another program, that was little. We have to think one step more subtly. So this experience of 20 years doing programming for the programming has helped us thinking more about AI for the AI, right? So doing and adapting AI can be a very difficult project, but if we can think of helping helping us in adapting AI, right? AI is helping us in automating our things. Then that will be a second layer of automation, which uh, generally people would not think that what AI can do. If AI can automate my task, then why can't AI can automate AI? So that is what we can think, and we can come out with a very useful system with AI. Yeah, we can move to next slide. Yeah. Yes. So how all this come together and help customers and entire ecosystem in construction, right? So if we hear the vision of Indian government, right, the target is having developed nation by 2047. Now, just imagine if we have to do so much of so many projects we need to complete if we have to achieve developed nation. Then by 2037, we have to at least complete the construction. All construction has to be completed so that uh, other activities can be completed after that, right? So it's all dependent on each other. So, and construction industry has got a maximum load in the next 10 years. And unless we do automate and unless we use all the latest technologies, it will be very, very difficult task, right? So this what we can think for construction industry, how we can speed up everything. Time is the essence, right? So we can think of agents creating agents. So if we go and start developing agents on our own, it will take long time, and it will be very difficult to do so many things. But if we create agents, that themselves will create agents in future. So we have to just give them the goal, and then one agent takes up the goal, identifies, okay, I will need 20 agents to do this goal, to achieve this goal, and then it will create 20 agents. It will assign sub goals to all agents, and then it will keep on compiling the summarizations reports and updates to the original goal. So like that, basically, we can speed up the things. And industry workflow marketplaces. So every individual, they have got talents, right? They can think in a different way. God has created all brains different, right? So some people have technical brains, some people have sales brains, some people have product development brains. So these are all required to achieve end to end, and that is called orchestration, right? If we see a big orchestra playing, it's very soothing for the ears. But there is one person who has only two sticks in the hand, and he is just moving sticks like this, right? And everyone, there are drums, there are guitars, there are flutes. Everyone is playing as per that person who is orchestrating it. And the combined sound looks very beautiful. So unless we do this, it will be a very, very difficult situation with AI, because with AI you can generate so many things, but if you don't know how much to generate and what to generate, then it will be a chaos. Suppose if a drum person doesn't know how much to beat on what drum and at what sound and pitch, then there will be a big chaos in the music orchestra. But similarly, in industry, if we don't know how much to produce, suppose we are constructing or we are doing infrastructure projects, in all ways we are having some market requirement. If we produce more than market requirement, it's like, we have to cut the cost. We have to cut our selling price. And if we produce less than market requirement, then someone else will have to wait and their project will be delayed. So it has to be produced in exact quantity. Just like in our body, if we see, the brain signals the liver how much insulin to produce. If they produce more, there will be problem. If they produce less, again there will be problem. So it has to tell when to produce and how much to produce. So this is called orchestra or orchestration, right? And if we do this very well and plan in advance that, okay, I will need this agents after 1 year, I will need these agents after 1 month, then we can reduce the cost of ad hoc developments and ad hoc requirements. Yeah. Next. Yes. So recently, before 1 year, we got a call from one of our investors that he knows one company in United Kingdom, and his founder, he has got a lot of experience in AI from last so many years. He has led so many big size projects and big companies, big teams, and he knows the crux where AI will, what is the bull's eye for AI. So why don't you have meetings? So we had a meeting, and we had a good chance to meet with Mr. Joshua Kaiser, and he introduced to us the word sentiloquy, right? So that was first time we heard that word, but then he explained the meaning of sentiloquy. It's basically senti is 100, and loquy is, so sentiloquy becomes a work divided into 100 parts. Now, it was interesting because AI or even human brain, as I said, there are 150,000 brains inside our brain. So what happens? Everything is divided into small, small tasks and given to the different brains. They process them, they come together, and they generate the one result. So this is how Sentiloquy divides a big work or a big goal into small, small goals, small, small tasks, right, to the end, we can call it a neuron for the brain, but it's divided up to that level and then again combined. So that is how basically uh, we got chance, and then we understood this is the future, and then we immediately started working with Mr. Joshua, and he is very helpful and happy guy, makes everyone happy. So that is what we will meet him. It's our good fortune that he is with us today. And yeah, so along with Joshua and other team members, we are working on something very big for the customers, so that customers can take full advantage of this AI wave, and they can become leaders in their industries or whatever they are focusing to do, right? So, converting dashboards into decisions, workflows into autonomous enterprises, and manpower scaling into intelligence scaling, right? So, this is what uh, vision we see, and this is why we have been investing in AI and developing something spectacular for the customers and the entire ecosystem. So thank you so much with this, and I would hand over to Yashvi for the next panel.
Thank you once again, Ashwin sir, for sharing such an inspiring vision for our future. Okay, so our next speaker is a renowned global AI strategist, tech architect, entrepreneur, founder, and investor with an extensive expertise in machine learning, intelligent automation, and next generation product development, helping business scale through intelligent automation across the industries and the geographies. So, I would now like to invite our special guest for the day, Mr. Joshua Kaser. With over 15 years of experience, Joshua has worked extensively on building AI powered enterprises solutions that bridge the gap between the advanced technology and practical business outcomes. Today, he will share how AI is moving from experimentation to real world enterprise transformation. So, AI is not the future, it is the present. And I think that perfectly sets the tone for today's discussion. Over to you, Joshua. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ashvi and Ashwin, for such a wonderful, wonderful introduction. You're making me blush. Fantastic to be here with all of you guys. Thank you so much for your time. And I think, such a timely topic as well, given where the world is moving towards. So, Yashvi, if you wouldn't mind just moving to the first slide for me, that would be wonderful. So yes, as Yashvi mentioned, just to give you a little bit of background about myself and contextualize it. So I've been working in AI and machine learning for over 15 years. I've delivered major AI programs of work for large enterprises, including large banks like HSBC and Barclays in the UK. And so I have a little bit of a finger on the pulse in terms of where the AI market has come from and where essentially it is heading, right? So I've been involved with AI prior to the explosion of large language models like ChatGPT and Claude, which I'm sure you're all familiar to when companies were using AI models in a very fine-grained way to solve very specific problems. And I think the interesting thing now is that the world has moved to a direction where these AI models like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude or Google's Gemini, these models now are capable of human level decision making. They are capable of human level actions. So we have moved away from a world where we had specific models that were doing very specific things, like, for example, optical character recognition and extracting data from things like images and forms, or having models that were doing things like very specific classification tasks or very rudimentary chatbots, to essentially models that are multimodal in their capability. And what I mean by that is they're able to interact with the outside world through multiple right? And so this is really where in 2026 and beyond, the world is moving to. 80% of enterprises are now actually actively deploying AI-assisted workflows into their businesses that help automate all sorts of different processes. And this is moving away from what we've traditionally called AI-enabled workflows, whereby you might have a workflow, some piece of automation inside the business that is deterministic in nature, right? So if this, go here, if that, do this. And then having, say, a model embedded within that workflow to deal with a very specific circumstance, right, within that particular workflow, to situations now that we call agentic. Agentic being that the model is making the underlying decisions. It is getting access to tools that allow it to interact with the outside world. So those will be, for example, CRM systems, it will be ERP systems, it will be payment gateways, it will be databases. And the model is able to reason across those tools and across its task to be able to accomplish its intended outcome. Even so much so that we are actually moving towards a world now that is agentic, whereby we will have, I think, as Ashwin mentioned previously when he was speaking about his future vision, so where we have swarms of agents or multiple agents that are interacting with one another. So you might have specialist agent inside your construction business that is focused on, say, data extraction and entry into the ERP system, and then you might have another one that is responsible maybe for finance, and these agents might cross-communicate, right? So we are moving towards this world of where AI agents are not just going to be chatbots that you speak to accomplish very simple tasks like drafting a better email, but they're going to be embedded in the organization, and they're going to be performing the tasks that humans like ourselves are doing on a daily basis, right? So actually having, if you like, digital employees driving these things forward. So I think the key point here is to say that, you know, the world is moving towards this space. 80% of businesses are exploring how do you fundamentally use this technology inside the business to drive optimizations in cost and revenue. And ultimately, it's something that you cannot afford to miss out on because of the speed that it allows you to do in terms of decision making, the cost that it allows you to optimize, right? And ultimately as well, I think specifically within the construction and real estate industry, there is a real opportunity. Some industries are adopting this faster than others. You know, Ashwin and Praful and the rest of the ERP team, strategic ERP team, are heavily embedded in the technology space. Technology, funnily enough, is one of the immediate places that has sort of adopted this technology. It makes sense because it is ultimately quite a technical technology, and so as a result, you know, people that are programming and building technical products have adopted it very quickly. But other markets are starting to catch up, and you know, real estate and construction is poised to be one of those markets. And as Ashwin mentioned as well, given the goals of where India wants to be in the next decade and the challenges around that, it's a technology that you cannot afford to ignore because ultimately the benefits that it brings are too big and too important to essentially put to one side. If you wouldn't mind moving to the next slide for me, Ashwin. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so why now, right? So why should you be looking at AI now? Well, the reality is that these types of LLMs, this type of agentic technology, it's no longer an experiment, right? So if we think back to, you know, the early 2020s, when GPT 3.5 came out, when we had this explosion of sort of LLMs, ultimately the technology was very nascent, it was very new. People were trying to figure out how do we actually use this to do things beyond drafting a nice email. And you know, ultimately we've gone through about 5 to 6 years of iteration. The market has really moved on in terms of how these models have applied. And as I say, it really has come to the fruition now that these models are doing more than answering just simple questions. You can actually embed them into the business, and they can actually perform real world work in the back office, front office, and middle office that would otherwise have required a human being to be able to do that, right? And the way that it does that is by essentially giving these models access to tools. And that's what the team at Strategic ERP have been doing. You know, they've been building, as Ashwin mentioned, an orchestration layer that allows these AI systems to take control over the ERP system, to take control over the finance system, to take control over the email inboxes and all of these different types of systems, and bring them all together and orchestrate over them to be able to accomplish, as I say, tasks that would otherwise in the past have required actually human labor to be able to do, right? So why now? You need to do it now because your competitors are doing it, right? As I say, the world is waking up to this technology. Every CIO in the world, in every industry, is thinking, how do I use this technology to essentially optimize the cost inside my business, but also to drive revenue as well, right? Because AI is moving away, as I say, from just simple chatbots to be able to do real work. That real work can be back office functions, but it can also be actually proactive front office functions as well. So we've have customers, we've seen use cases where people are using AI, for example, to do sales. So that might be automated outbound AI phone calls. It might be AI SDRs that are reaching out over email to prospects that are putting together specific value propositions for specific clients, that are looking at, say, things like RFIs and RFPs and automatically replying to them as well. So there are multiple different use cases, but ultimately, every company on the planet at the moment is trying to figure out, okay, how do I use this technology to my advantage? Okay, I think the next thing to say as well is that the cost advantages are just too big to ignore. If you look at the cost of doing a process manually today, I guarantee you that if you look at employing an AI agent or an AI-enabled workflow to essentially augment or replace that particular process, you're going to find a significant delta in terms of the costs to be able to actually supply that process today, right? So the competitive advantage of having this technology and the cost differential is just too big to ignore. And I think that's why ultimately everybody is saying, right, how do I use AI? The question is not, as I say, I've been doing AI for 15 years, and the question used to be, should I invest in AI? And that question is, that question's completely changed now. All the customers that we speak to, big enterprises, big and small, they're not talking about should we use AI. They're saying, who should we contract to help us build our AI journey, right? So it's moved away from this, is the technology valuable for our specific industry, to actually, what should we do and where should we start, right? And I think that's a really, really sort of important movement that's happened in the market. And if you're not jumping on that train, there's a chance that you're going to get left behind by the rest of the market that is moving that way. Okay, and as I say, ultimately the adoption gap is widening here, right? So the early movers are compounding their advantage, and ultimately the late movers are going to pay a premium to catch up. So if you don't have your AI workflows in place, if you're not optimizing your costs, that means you're not going to have as good margins as your competitors. Your competitors are going to be able to undercut you on price, or they're going to be able to move on speed. They're going to be more nimble, leaner organizations with people doing more valuable work, and the AI doing sort of the more grunt work. So you really, really don't want to get caught behind, because ultimately, you will pay that cost later on. Thanks, Yashvi. If you wouldn't mind, go to the next slide. So what is Centiloquy? So as Ashwin says, over a year ago, Praful, Ashwin, and myself, we met. We talked a little bit about the future of AI, where it was going. And ultimately, I introduced them to a product that I helped create called Centiloquy. And at the core, what Centiloquy allows enterprises to do is it provides them with a way of taking these AIs, right? I like to think of them as intelligent brains in a jar. Your Anthropics of the world, your Geminis, your OpenAIs, right? And ultimately give them access to tools to be able to make them useful in the context of the enterprise. So you can have an AI like OpenAI, you can give it a task, you can give it a description in terms of what you want it to do, but it needs to be able to have access to the systems and able to be able to do that, right? Otherwise, it's like having a very intelligent friend who doesn't have the ability, doesn't have any arms or legs or a mouth or anything to be able to interact with you. It can listen, it maybe can speak some basic things back, but without the access into the real world, it's limited in terms of the business value that it can drive. And so Centiloquy was built to solve that particular problem. And today it powers a lot of the capability that's sitting underneath, Strategic ERP's AI capability, allowing you to build sophisticated agents that are hooked into the ERP system, that are hooked into the finance systems, that are hooked into your email systems, to your procurement systems, to be able to basically have the AI work different types of workflows involving all sorts of different types of data. And that can be simple workflows from like, go to this system, fetch some data and put it into this other system. It can be multiple complex workflows whereby you're working with unstructured information. You might be extracting information from documents. You might be summarizing it. You might have humans in the loop approving specific actions that you might take. You might be doing data entry, right? You might even be doing use cases around machine vision, for example, like automatically detecting on a construction site, are people wearing hard hats and helmets and things like that. So there's all sorts of different types of workflows that you can build inside Centiloquy, but ultimately that's what it's doing. It's giving these models the ability to interact with the real world and drive real outcomes for business, right? And, I think Yashvi said at the beginning as well, this little phrase here at the bottom, the question is no longer, as I said before, whether to adopt AI. The question is how fast can you adopt it, and where are the right places to adopt it as well. So as I say, the questions, the questions that these businesses are asking now has fundamentally changed, and you need to be part of that. If not, you're going to be left behind. Thanks, Yashvi. Would you mind going to, I think, to the last slide for me?
Yes, Joshua, that's absolutely correct. It's always about how soon you are starting. So, once again, thank you so much, Joshua, for sharing those valuable global insights for every one of
My
us.
pleasure. Thank you very much, guys, for your time.
Okay, so over the next panelist, she is a technology transformation specialist with extensive experience across the SaaS, ERP, GovTech, and FinTech ecosystems. Ms. Hitakshi Dhawan has spent years helping organizations streamline operations, identify bottlenecks, and leverage data driven insights to improve the business outcomes. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Hitakshi Dhawan. Over to you, Hitakshi.
Thank you very much for the lovely introduction, Yashvi. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Hitakshi, and I'm incredibly excited to walk you through a topic that is reshaping how we think about enterprise operations, which is the concept and foundation which is transforming the enterprise landscape. Before we dive into the technical architecture, I want to share a quick meta moment with you. We are going to go through the next few slides today, and I want to be completely transparent. The entire deck, the structure, the supporting notes has been created actively by relying on various AI tools. I share that with you because at Strategic ERP, we believe in walking the talk. We are not just here to sell you AI as a shiny new add-on feature or a market buzzword. We are actively integrating it into our day-to-day workflows and testing its limits, proving its efficiency. And as we do this, we are powered by practical, dependable AI. Today, we're going to look at how we bridge the gap between standard abstract AI theory and actual tangible product value to your business. So let's start by looking at the macro shift happening under the hood of modern enterprises. For the last 20 years, as Mr. Ashwin has highlighted, ERP software has operated strictly as a system of record. What does this mean? It is passive, it is archival, and it sits entirely idle, waiting for a human to type something in for it to know something. It's just a repository. If you don't feed it, it does not know anything. Right now, we are crossing a massive technological threshold. We are moving away from passive storage and stepping into a system of intelligence. In this new paradigm, the system shifts from being a passive listener to an active participant. It becomes predictive, meaning it knows your historical patterns and forecasts what's next. And ultimately, it moves you towards autonomous capabilities, handling routine, low-level decisions without requiring you to click 5 different buttons to make it happen. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So let's break down what this transition actually looks like on the ground. Because of the old way, it's costing companies thousands of hours which are lost in productivity. In a traditional ERP setup, the posture is entirely reactive. The system only knows an invoice exists if an accounts payable clerk manually types it in. The architecture is rigid, menu driven, and if you want to find an anomaly, you have to remember the exact click paths through 3 different submenus to generate a report. This is creating immense friction and is introducing human error. Now let's look at the bottom row on the traditional side. Latency. Latency in traditional setups is completely dependent on human input timelines. If someone takes a week to upload their expense reports, then your financial view is a week out of it. Now let's look at the new way, the AI-powered ERP. The posture shifts to proactive. The workflows are agentic and adaptable, meaning they can route tasks dynamically based on context of data. We replace manual entry bottlenecks with automated data pipelines, bringing latency down to zero. You get real-time monitoring, autonomous anomaly detection. The second something goes wrong, not during a reconciliation cycle. Can we go to the next slide, please, Harry? To build this intelligent framework, we rely on 3 core technological pillars. To make this easy conceptualize, we think of them as giving the enterprise a biological nervous system. First, we have OCR, optical character recognition, which acts as the eyes of the system. It is responsible for taking raw, unstructured, messy, real world documents like paper invoices, delivery receipts, or PDFs and translating them into structured database records that your system can actually understand. Second is NLP, which stands for natural language processing, which is the ears and voice of the system. This allows everyday business users to interact with core financial and operational ledgers using plain text or speech, removing technical barriers to access data. The third is RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, which is the contextual brain essentially. RAG ensures that whenever AI models we use are safely, securely anchored to your private enterprise data pipelines. Over the next few slides, I want to take a deeper look into each of these pillars and show you exact business value as they unlock. Next slide, please. So let's look at our first pillar, OCR. OCR specifically applied for the nightmare that is manual data entry. Everyday businesses deal with steady stream of unstructured inputs of PDFs, scanned images, emails from suppliers, etc. In our AI-powered ecosystem, these documents enter what we call our semantic engine. This system doesn't just read text, it understands the context, it digitizes the document, automatically executes a three-way match, comparing the invoice against the original purchase order and receiving log, and then stops the data into your ledger in minutes, completely untouched by human hands. The business impact here is massive. We are seeing up to 80 to 90% reduction in manual data entry costs. Beyond cost savings, it frees up your finance team from mundane data entry, allowing them to focus on capital optimization and small business. Next slide, please. Our second pillar is NLP. Its primary mission is the democratization of our enterprise data. In most organizations, if an executive wants to know which orders are delayed due to a sudden logistical issue, they have to submit a request to data analytics team or navigate a maze of custom reporting filters to land on the drop. With NLP driven core, one message box, a user can simply type a conversational questions, like they're texting a colleague, saying, hey, show me orders that are delayed. Behind the scene, the translation process takes that raw text, understands the business intent, and automatically compiles it into a precise SQL code to query the live database. When what it returns is a clean, instant data visualization. By translating natural language directly to SQL, we are completely eliminating the need for complex, unintuitive UI, putting information directly into the hands of decision makers. And next slide, please. Now let's talk about the brain of the operation, which is RAG. If you've experimented with the public AI tools as Sean was mentioning, Claude, you know that they have a bad habit of hallucinating. They make up facts, figures, hallucination isn't just an inconvenience, it's a liability. You cannot make supply chain decisions based on a guess. RAG structurally eliminates LLM hallucinations by hooking the language model directly to your live and, most importantly, private enterprise records. When a user asks, what is the current inventory status for item X? The RAG engine doesn't guess based on training data. It proactive decision making by foreseeing trends and risks well ahead of time. I believe the next slide is the last slide. All right. So, as I wrap up my part for today, I want to leave you with a final thought that guides everything that we are building here. There is a lot of anxiety in the market about AI replacing human workers, but our philosophy here at Strategic ERP is completely different. The intelligent enterprise does not replace the worker, it elevates them. Our goal with these AI foundations is to completely eliminate the administrative debt, the hours spent on doing manual data entry, the days spent on tracking missing files, the weeks spent waiting for data engineering teams to run custom reports. When we wipe away that friction, we don't eliminate the worker, we unlock their true potential. We give your teams time and clear predictive insights that can drive strategic high value business growth. So thank you so much for your time today, and I will be handing it back to our wonderful host Yashvi. Over to you.
That's very, very insightful. This helps simplify complex AI concepts into practical business understanding. And I'm really sure that many attendees are finding this extremely relevant. Thank you so much, Hitakshi. So, we will now move into one of the most exciting segments of today's webinar, the AI feature deep dive session. So, our final panelist brings deep domain expertise and practical industry understanding. Mr. Harish Venkatesh serves as head of technology and has over 12 years of experience working closely with construction, infrastructure, EPC, and real estate sectors. Having worked with hundreds of organizations, he understands the practical challenges faced at project sites, procurement departments, finance teams, and leadership level. So today, he'll share practical insights into how AI-powered ERP is solving real industry bottlenecks. Please welcome Mr. Harish Venkatesh. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Ashwi. It's wonderful and good that I should say thanks to my directors giving me this opportunity. And I'm also, the best part is I'm half end of the world, so I'm on the other side of the world. So sitting there and giving me this opportunity is fantastic. So currently I'm also serving to one of my client for this AI features. So it's a great opportunity sitting on the other side of the world and helping the people. So coming back, as Ashvi has given a perfect picture, I've been in the ERP industry for almost 23 years, and half of my life I've given for the construction industry. So then, as when you have a hunger in the belly, you will learn for the new technologies. This helps us to learn a lot of things. Good that I've seen a great speech from Mr. Ashwin Gami, followed by that by Mr. Joshua, to give an insight about the AI. But adding to that, when they have given a feature to get into deep dive, yeah, this is the areas where we have some bottlenecks in certain areas. So we have to highlight those things. Yeah. Thanks to Hitakshi for streamlining and just giving a whole idea about what AI will do as a whole information. Yeah, that's good. So let me get into the slide. So we are talking about the main key features like MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So this will be basically, as Hitakshi mentioned earlier, but here we'll be doing, like, you want to do any analysis, basically simple terms like I want to know, I'll just put a condition by saying, can I do a pending purchase order, but I want to know that how many are active companies and how many are active suppliers or active this one. That kind of conditions I can put in the MCP aspect. Okay. Then in case of Sarah as an AI, because Sarah is we have created a name for Sarah. So she is the one who will be taking leads. See, basically, we all do inquiries, right? We do get inquiries. So if then inquiry is an AI, so it becomes easier for us a conversation to know which is the area we have to look at it, and she can guide us the right directions, right? So for example, if I'm looking for an ERP, I want a specific thing like plant and machinery, because today is a market where people are looking for plant and machinery. Sarah can guide us the right directions. If she has the knowledge, she'll give that information. If not, she'll arrange a call with a technical expert sitting right across to you on the date and the time where she'll set up those information. Okay. Then I'll go down the order, column by column. Then ML predictions. So ML predictions, even Hitakshi mentioned very nicely, is that basically now, as we are in the construction industry, we have most of them, I think almost 60-70% is family owned business. So you have a lot of data which you want to gather, and you want to put it in a system which gives you an analytical aspect of things. So basically you want to get it in a simplified way. So when you want it in a simplified way, that, yeah, you may ask me a question. I do have Excel, I do have a lot of players in the market, but when you have it in a ERP system, with an AI feature, with a predictive analysis, yeah, I would be looking at ML predictions, which will be helping me to get you better solutions, better informations, and better insights. So also adding to that, filter conditions. See, basically, every individual is having a different perspective of what I want as an output, right? Then ML predictions is the one which we are looking on those aspects. Now coming to CV analyzer. So this is the biggest game changer. What we have done is that we are now slowly targeting what do you say, companies who are into human resource recruitment processes. So what has happened is, I think everyone has used in LinkedIn that you're looking for a job, and does I fit the what is it, fit the shoes or the fit this thing. In that case, what we have done is, we as a strategic ERP, we have gone to that level of things where I want to analyze. See, I do have, see, construction industry and manufacturing industry is a hardened industry, so there is always an attrition of employees coming in. We are looking for the right skill set for the right department. In that case, CV analyzer plays as a vital role, where the specific department they're recruited, if they're recruiting about, say, a job role for 10 people, and you get a what is a resumes of 200 people, I have to see the right fitment. So then I'll put all the data of the candidates, analyze the data, and see the right fitment and pick. And also here it is also the ranking system. Rank 1 as 97%, rank 2 as 92, the next 3%. So based on that analysis, you can shortlist the right candidate for your job role. So CV analyzer is a role which we can directly pull from different portals, link it up, analyze it, and deliver it. Myra AI. Myra AI is basically a supporting system. So what we have done is that, see, we do have almost, we have put 1,100 customers. We're adding another 100 customers to down list. So basically they have a lot of ticketings, a lot of issues, a lot of concerns. Because if you, as we are going through the AI world, we don't want to reduce the workforce, but we want to put that workforce in some other place. But I can put a system in place which can help the support system build and keep 24/7 open. In that case, Myra helped me out on all the ticketing systems, tracking what is the last status, is the ticket resolved? Because what happens is, humans tend to make sometimes mistakes, and then don't tell on time that, okay, this issue is resolved. But if a system can give you that information right on your specific screen, that'll help you to grow. Okay. Yeah, that's Ashvi. You can get to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, as MCP, as I was explaining in detail. So basically here we are using a natural and no SQL needed, because see, we are all most of the people are laymen, and we don't know what is SQL, what is application, what is things. So in that case, we may ask some silly questions which is related to the ERP, but it is the duty that the system understands the context what we are giving, and gives you the unified information, and in the simplest way, that it is in background, it's working intelligently and giving you the right data. Okay, that's the purpose of an MCP. Next slide. So now Sarah AI. So yeah, this is a supercharging real estate conversation. So basically, reason being is that we have this implemented ourselves in our organization. So it has uplifted us. We have also got good inquiries from the system, and this is like we do have a built-in CRM with us as well. We are in the industry for almost 10-15 years. So basically, we have seen a lot of changes, as doing a lot of cold calling, a lot of things, conversations, demand generations. So this, when we put up the system in place, it has helped us to get good inquiries. And apart from that, we have different portals, different service providers who are providing us the leads. Plus, this is also helping us to help the concerned person, because Sara AI is basically, I want to get the leads, unanswered leads. There are leads which is called, but as I'm busy with some other call for a demo, and that someone has to take care of that leads. So then that is where Sarah comes into picture, and it helps us to go through the leads. So there are leads. See, we are slowly expanding our businesses to multi-location. I think you can see my image at the back. We are expanding multi-level. So in that case, that is where the leads which is coming from the international markets, and that is where we're trying to set it as a complete autonomous aspect of things. Yeah. Yes. Yashvi, next slide. Okay, Myra, as I told you earlier, support system. So the best part is, I usually quote is that customers are God in certain scenarios, because they are the one who help us to build the system for them, and they are the one who help us to expand the business as well, and they are the one who drives us the whole aspect. So end of the day, any customer, we support them. It has to be super fast, and has to be also helping them to build the right path, right directions, and in whole aspect of things. Okay, yeah. Next one. Told you earlier. So if I have like 200 CVs for a job specification of 15 or 20, then I should have a good system in place where it can analyze the whole line by line item and understand the things and see the job description is fitting to the right person. So there are chances we miss the right person at the right time. So that is the reason this is very important for us, where you are spending almost like say hours or days together to get the things done. If a system can give you in within 20 minutes or 5 minutes, I'm saying 5 minutes, but if the data is less, if the data is a huge as 1,000, so 20 minutes is the least number which I can work on and get the solution done. Okay. Next slide, Yashvi, please. Yeah. So ML predictions. So this is a bigger part, because I think most of our people are still using the traditional ERP aspect, where they have the data and they want to put it in an ERP and see that what are my predictions. So basically, you have business intelligence tools. You do have a lot of tools, but reason being is that the data, when the data is used like 10 years or 5 years, I'll say minimum 5 years to 10 years or to 20 years or 40 years of data, that is a data where you have a lot of analytical aspect. You can put a lot of code. Basically, if I say put it in a normal SQL, it will take a lot of time. This kind of a system which will help me to get the data in less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because again there is a concept of filter conditions, requirements, perspective aspect. A lot of things are there. So in this case, what happens is, even my making my forecasting. So basically, all these years if I have done, so I will come to know. Okay, let's assume that I'm a real estate company. All these years I was doing projects in say Bombay. Now I see there's a lot of customers coming from say Gujarat. And there are a lot of customers coming from different locations. Based on my data analysis, I'm able to know there is a demand generation from Gujarat, demand generation from Delhi. So based on that, I can make a lot of predictive analysis and give a forecast to my sales team, or even to my product team, to do customized screens specifically to that. So this is a plus point of the ML predictions. Yeah. Next, Yashvi, please. Yeah. How it all comes together. Okay, great point. So good point is that we are not only focusing on real estate. So today's world is more on the infrastructure aspect. There's complex projects, there's complex things coming to picture. So we, as an ERP and product company, there are areas which we have to improve. There are areas, there are customers who are looking to automate it. There are areas the customers are looking for an AI feature. So see, automation has come to this. I'm not saying saturation, but has come to that level. What is next? Next is what Mr. Ashwin Gami has told on the initial of the introduction itself, that I have to do it to a 10x or a 5x or even 15x. In that case, AI is the one. AI is the game changer, which will help me to build to that level aspect. Because as I grow bigger, as an organization I grow bigger, so there is always a possibility that even using my resources, sometimes I have to have an extra force aspect of execution in AI. So the reason which I've shown you the tools is the limited ones. Now we are working on some advanced ones. As you may see in couple of days, a lot of things is going to come and will help you the aspect of your businesses, which will go at a faster pace of execution. Yeah, Ishvi, it's back to you. You can click on the video just to play it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Volume is down.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, so we have made a video. We'll share this video to all of you. This video covers all the features of AI which we have recently delivered to the customers, and customers have come back with a couple of feedbacks saying that I want to customize to my needs. So as Mr. Ashwin Gami has mentioned about agentic AI and all the new things which is coming in. So these are the small things which we have done. So I'm just running the video. Please, Ishvi, can you just run the video, please? Thank you. Video is spoils. Hitakshi, you can just unmute yourself so that we can listen to that.
Yes, sir. Even I'm not able to hear. I think Yashvi, you'll have to share your computer audio maybe.
Okay. So you guys were not able to hear?
No.
Yeah.
Were you able to hear the video?
No, the audio is not
No.
coming. You can see the
Audio is
video.
not there. Yeah, that's
Okay. Okay. I'll
that's fine.
replay it once again.
It's still not audible. Yashvi, we can't hear the audio.
Yeah, it's a Zoom thing. Sometimes computer audio it does not receive.
Understood. Okay. I think Yashvi can stop this. We can go to the next slide.
Okay. So I believe the team will be sharing this video to every one of you.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
My apologies to all of you. There was a little bit of glitch on the video. Otherwise, the audio would be nicer. So this good that we have got a polling session. Let's all put the pollings. All the audiences can put the polling session. So I'll be happy to see that. Yeah. Okay. Can we go to the next slides? Yashvi, are you there?
Yes, Harish sir, I'm here. I'm just waiting for the polling session to be done. So let's wait for a
Okay.
few more minutes and then we'll continue with our next session.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think people are eager to ask questions. I'm also happy. I'm happy to see that my directors Hitakshi and Yashvi will be interested to reply your answers. Yeah.
So yes, thank you so much, Harish sir. The AI features you explained in detail were simply super amazing, and I am so sure that many organizations can relate to support delays and operational bottlenecks, and this can significantly reduce the turnaround time for the project driven businesses.
I very much agree with you, Ashley, because the purpose is that we as a construction company was lacking, and thanks to Joshua, thanks to Professor, thanks to Ashwin Gami sir, giving us the right directions to put in a construction industry, and that will be a biggest game changer because we may know, I should say, touchwood, so that we may overpower other segments in future. That should be the game changer for us. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
That's absolutely right, sir. So, yes, once again, thank you all the speakers, all the panelists for joining us today. Thanks to all the audience who have attended this webinar. So, we will now move into the panel discussion segment where we will address some of the most critical challenges faced by the real estate and construction industry and understand how AI powered ERP solutions are helping organizations overcome them. So I would request if we can get any critical questions or challenging questions from the audience, you can just type it in the chat box and then our panelists will address them. So, guys, you can just address your questions in the chat box. We have enabled them. Oh, you guys are super quick. So I have received one question for especially Joshua. So Joshua, are you there?
I'm here. Yes,
Oh,
what can I help with?
yes. So the question is, how can our existing customers design a phased AI rollout, starting with high impact use cases like
Mhm.
additional revenue generation and cost control to ensure measurable return on investment within the
Mhm.
first 90 to 120 days?
That's a great
Seems
question.
a
It's a great
great question.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually a quite prominent question as well because I think we have a saying in the UK. I don't know if it's the same in India, but like when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So it's a famous saying, and basically what it's saying is that when you have such a powerful piece of technology, you have this intuition or this expectation that you want to apply it everywhere. And the reality is that AI is a tool like any other technology, and it has its place, and in other places it doesn't have its place. And it's also true that AI is not a zero-sum game. So what I mean by that is that you can apply it in incremental, small places to deliver value very quickly, and you don't necessarily need to automate everything, right? In fact, you'll find like most things that you will automate, usually it's easy to get to the 80%, and it's very difficult to do the last 20%, right? But that 80% actually releases tremendous amount of value, and that's your low-hanging fruit. So the way you usually should do this is by exploring a little bit like your functions across your business. You should be mapping out, right, what areas in the business do we have? What areas of friction or repeated work do we have? Like where are our cost centers or where are our user experience bottlenecks? And then basically look at, okay, within these specific areas, if we map out the process, and actually find that visually mapping these things out, when we go and speak to large customers about deploying these types of automations, we usually map out these processes visually on like a canvas or on a whiteboard. And then that usually helps you to help determine, okay, there's actually like a decision making point here, right, that is done by a human being, or there's a piece of manual work here that's done by a human being, and there's actually a bottleneck because it doesn't scale, because I need either more humans to be able to do more work, or because it's prone to error, or because it just takes a long time, or because the humans that have to do that work are expensive, right? So there might be multiple things. So if you do that identification work, we call that like an exploration, that will help you determine, okay, what are your top processes where maybe AI can help you deliver value, and then within that process, what are the primary areas that you should be focusing in on, right? And as I say, you don't have to replace the entire process. You can identify specific discrete areas that are the bottleneck, that are the cost center, that are the user experience, sort of like, yeah, bottleneck again. And you can start there. So that's usually the best way to do it. You build a backlog off the back of that, and then you gradually add that capability over time, right? And you will find that over the course of that 90 days to a year, as you move forward, your level of automation will go up. But I think it's really important because ultimately, I'm not sure of the colleagues that are on this webinar today, like where you guys sit across your businesses. But a lot of the time, one of the big things about investment in AI is that you need to be able to show value quickly to your stakeholders financing the AI, right? So if you're making an investment, you need to show actual demonstrable gains. So that's actually the best way to do it. Is, as I say, map out automate, and always measure your outcomes as well, so you can justify why you're doing that investment.
Thank you so much, Joshua, for answering this challenging question. And we are receiving so many questions, so I'll just the one which are common for many organizations. Okay, so ERP
agentic AI aspect. So basically, we can create digital agents for individual aspect. We know the processes, what they do basically, right? So those agents we can put it across. This is the task, and one agent can tell to another agent and can do the code process. So that whole thing can be done in a single cycle of things. I'll give a classic example. Suppose I want to do a purchase requisition till an invoicing aspect. I can create an agent to just collect the requisition from the consent project or from the site, then put it to a purchase order. Purchase order can be automized. Again, that's another agent. From purchase order to what is a delivery challan or a goods receipt note, there's another agent, because I have to just match and see that it's PO versus a GRN. That means your estimated versus your actuals is matching. Then based on that, your billing aspect, again another agent. So this process you can completely automate it. Even in case of contracting, the same process I can implement. Hope I answered that question. You have further question on that, then I can still elaborate on that as a deep dive.
Okay, thank you so much, Harish sir. And the next question I'll request Ashwin sir to answer. What are the security and privacy concerns when implementing AI on customers' ERP data hosted on cloud surface? That's amazing question.
Yes, this is very important to know. And uh, when we have spent so much of our time implementing ERP, if you see, a lot of time we have spent in setting the right permissions in the ERP, right? So we have set it very clearly who has access to which department, which forms, which stages of a document, and authorization, right? Up to what amount someone can authorize some documents. So in ERP, we have permissions, security, everything very clearly set. Now, when we have to implement AI, if we have to do it all again, it would be very, very difficult. So if we implement AI along with ERP, then AI will directly extract the permissions which are already set in ERP. So user will have access to the information according to the permissions set in ERP. So that way we can control the security aspect of ERP. And regarding data privacy, yes, there are multiple ways of controlling how we share our data outside of ERP. So even though AI is there, we can use small models to do most of 80% of work, and only special tasks we require big models, right? So even while using big models, there are a set of rules. If we properly communicate to the AI that this is for this purpose, then it will follow all our privacy standards. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. Okay. So many questions are coming. Okay. So Hidakshi, I'll just request you to answer this question. How can AI assist in project planning and automatic WBS generating generation based on historical projects or drawings?
Yes. What we can do is you can upload images of your bills and we can translate it into actionable data that stores inside your ERP system. Sorry, one second. I'm struggling to find the question.
Hitakshi, can you repeat the question? That'll be great. Sorry, Yashvi, can you repeat the question?
Yes,
That'll be great.
yes, yes. I'll repeat the question. How can AI assist in project planning and automatic WBS generation based on historical projects or drawings?
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
audible,
Hitachi, you
Hitakshi.
are audible.
Yeah, sorry, I've been facing a little bit of internet issues over this call today.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it is or Aish or Lakhan AI manager had an answer, it will be more better.
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So basically, AI can easily read the drawings, right? In DXF format, when we save the drawing and if we go to AI can find all the details of the drawing and find out, BOQ. So that BOQ, we can connect with our previous BOQs, whatever we have in the system, and we can find out the rate analysis which can be used to be attached to those BOQs. And that way, we can have quantities, we can have the rates, and combined together, we can get the entire WBS and basically project cost, right? And similarly, this BOQ items, quantities, can be attached with previous project schedules which are there in the system, and then it can create project schedule also for the upcoming project. So that way our 80% of the work can be automated with AI, and it can reduce a lot of manual mistakes which may cost us a lot afterwards. So that way, basically, I hope that answers the question, right?
Yes, sir. That's answer we were looking for. Okay. The next question is, as we do have a large number of working resources with reasonable salaries, how AI and GPU cost will sustainable for small business? Anyone from the panel can answer this question.
Yes. So now we are seeing so many news, right? That AI cost is, bubbling up. It's like becoming a big bubble. So certainly, when there is a mismanagement of some extra, privileges we are given, then we end up losing the return on investment. So we have to be very careful that our requirements are specific, very very specific. They explain very clearly what AI has to do. If it is not explained, then AI will just rotate in loops, and then it will increase our bills. That is one thing. Second, instead of giving all our AI requirements to costly models, we should bifurcate. We should ask AI itself to decide whether this question requires, request going to a costly model or a standard model, which doesn't cost so much, right? So if we can do that, then automatically our average cost of using AI will be far, far less than what would have been I hope that answers.
Okay. So there are so many questions coming up. So we will take last 3 to 4 questions now. So one more questions we have is, mm, do we have AI agents which can ease the work of purchase department and sales department?
Yeah, it can ease the with the sales department purchase because I just give an example of Sarah. I just gave you an example of Myra for support aspect. So you can create different digital agents for the scope of works, what it is required, and as you said, sales aspect like you have AI calling. So which we have got, which is helping. So the thing is, I'll give you a simple example. As an humanly, I can do only 50 calls or 60 calls a day. And if I want to do 100 calls, 200 calls, I want to build a customer base. Well, not an overnight aspect, but AI calling will help me on those aspects. And also, is a built-in with a transcription. So very few applications in the market you have a built-in of calling as a transcription and with a language aspect. So basically, we India has multiple dialects. That is a major aspect. And as you go internationally, you have different language aspects. So that is in case of sales, but in case of your engineering works and your procurement works, yeah, there is like optical character recognition. This is a key aspect where these are the ones where I want to automate or I want to do things which system can take care of things. Yeah, that is very important for us. So these are the key features as we are built specifically on the industry segments. As we have gone in the career line, we have seen many things. Yeah, this is the key features of those things. Yes.
Perfect. I like to highlight a little bit on Hari's answer. One of the example we kept in our website, strategicerp.com, call me. So if you do the call there, strategicerp.com, and there is a call me button. If you click there, it will be ask your number and name. If you give that, Sarah will call you, give the whole answer, and it will can be fix the meeting schedule. And if you like to connect any humans, they will connect directly. So this is the one of the example we kept in our website. You can explore that option also. And we can similar, we can create the n number of agent as on when required. And creating agent is not take too much time. It will be fiction of the minutes job to create if we have the well defined the process in organization. Yeah. Yes.
Very well said,
Next,
sir.
you can.
Okay. So I can see in the chat box, like many of the questions our team is already answering them. Okay, so I'll just wrap up the last question and then we can wrap up the webinar because we are really running a short of time this time. So for next webinar, we'll plan accordingly. So the last question, I would like Ashwin sir to answer this. Like looking ahead to 2030, what will separate AI-enabled organizations from the traditional organizations?
Yeah, thank you, Yashvi. So, yes, we are seeing the evolution of AI, right? And what is predicted is
Ashwin sir, we are unable to hear you.
Maybe network little issue.
Yes. Joshua, are you there, or Ashwin sir, you are there?
I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can repeat the question. Joshua can also answer better globally, like what is
Yes,
happening.
yes. So looking ahead to 2030, like
Mhm.
year 2030,
Yep.
what will separate AI-enabled organization from traditional organization?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, it's hard to predict the future exactly, but I can give you, I guess, an indication of as to where I see the market sort of moving gradually over the next couple of years, as you say, towards 2030. So my prediction is that by 2030, what we're going to start to see is that we're going to have sort of a symbiosis between human employees in organizations and AI agents doing work. And what I mean by this is that we're going to have these autonomous agents that will live in different channels. So you can think of, for example, in Slack or Teams, and they will collaborate together with different colleagues to be able to do different types of work, right? So you might have, for example, like a finance-related agent, or you might have, for example, like a sales ops agent or something like that. And you will see that the work will transform, whereby human beings will be doing less of the actual generation of work and more of the steering of work. So I think it will become much more strategic. And, we can already see that happening in programming. So, for example, in the last 6 months, there has been a ginormous shift in the world of programming. Nobody writes code anymore. It's just a matter of fact, right? Everybody uses agentic coding harnesses like, for example, Claude Code, which you might have heard of, or Codex from OpenAI, or OpenCode. So nobody actually writes code physically anymore. And the engineering job has shifted from a role whereby you had to think of how to solve a problem and then describe in code how to do that problem, to now you don't have to do the describing bit anymore. The job is entirely shifted to one of architecture, one of thinking through problems, one of design, right? So I very much think that that's the way the world is going to go. Roles are going to change. People are going to shift from doing the actual work to more designing how the work should be done. And we're going to be living with our AI colleagues and dishing out work to different AI colleagues, right? So this is my prediction. Excuse me.
Yes, thank you so much, Joshua. So, yes, as we conclude today's webinar, I would like to sincerely thank Mr. Ashwin sir, Mr. Joshua, Ms. Hitakshi, and Mr. Harish sir, and a heartfelt thank you to all our attendees for joining us today. We hope this session provided practical insights into how AI powered ERP systems are transforming business operations. If you would like to explore strategic ERP's AI powered solutions further, our team would happy to connect with you. So thank you so much once again. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, digital team and host and Joshua and Ashwin and all. So thank you. See you once again.
Thank you, Professor. Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.